This week's AEW Dynamite was one of the most stacked in recent memory, with several entertaining matches. The Owen Hart Foundation tournament was also underway properly, with several matches featuring some of the top stars in the company. Performers like CM Punk, Jeff Hardy, Adam Cole, Tony Storm and Jungle Boy, plus much more were scheduled to compete, and Jericho Appreciation Society also came out to give a victory speech on the show. But he kicked off with Cole and Harwood. Harwood and Cole kick-started their match with some back and forth reversals. The former NXT champion hit a neck breaker on Dax, gaining control before Harwood tried applying the sharpshooter, but Cole countered it into a pinfall attempt for a close count. The action spilled to the outside where Cole sent his opponent crashing into steel steps multiple times. Cole then saw Harwood crashing into the ring post to assert his dominance in the match. The Panama City Playboy continues to be in the driver's seat through the commercial break. Back on the live broadcast, Long Island crowd rallied behind Dax, who got on his feet and hit a couple of German suplexes on Cole. However, Cole quickly countered by hitting suplexes of his own. Next, Harwood hit the slingshot powerbomb for a close count. Cole recovered and hit a brainbuster on his opponent, after which he took position to hit the super kick. Although Harwood countered with a flurry of offense, he ultimately failed to manoeuvre from Adam Cole but managed to kick out. Next, Cole went for the Panama City Sunrise, but Dax Harwood tried to turn it into the pile driver to almost secure the win. He finally applied the sharpshooter, but Adam Cole quickly got out of it, with Harwood struggling with a weakened back. The former NXT champion then applied the sharpshooter, as the latter finally tapped out by owing the extreme pain to his lower back. And yeah, this was a brilliant match. 7 out of 10 for me. Technical masterpiece between two great wrestlers. And yeah, normally you say Cole will win this easy, but there was some doubt in this with all the build-up, and that's just what made it so great. Yeah, just technical masterclass, and I love the finish too. 7 out of 10. CM Punk vs John Silva is up next. The straight edge superstar was resoundingly booed by the Long Island crowd due to his heated feud with MJF, of course. But the match began with Punk being overwhelmed by Silva's furious speed, forcing him to roll out of the ring. Once he got back in, Punk hit a picture-perfect clothesline and Silva to finally turn the turn in his favour. The former WWE champ then hit the knee to the midsection of the Dark Order member, but Silva found his way back into the match when Punk accidentally went crashing into the turnbuckle. The Dark Order member then hit a brainbuster for a close count. Moments later, Punk had a stare down with Page in the commentary box. He then hit the buckshot lariat, Page's finisher, on Silva out of nowhere to pick up the win, and that led to a confrontation, of course, where they failed to treat him the same way as he did John Silva. Moreover, Punk also promised Page to shake his hands at Double or Nothing, whether conscious or unconscious. And yeah, this is really good. I still think it's quite a friendly feud, but there is still some little jives in there. It's an interesting position for Hangman to be in, but just for the match itself, yeah, for what it was decent, so I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Good stuff overall. Backstage, Britt Baker Jamie Hayter turned a match against Tony Storm in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament before we got Danhausen versus Tony Nese. Moments after the match started, Danhausen was going to curse Nese, but Sterling distracted her. This allowed the former WWE superstar to hit the running knee on Danhausen for the squash win. And post-match, the Premier athlete hit another running knee on Danhausen. He was about to hit it again when Hook's music hit. He came out. Nese and Sterling quickly cleared the ring as soon as Hook entered. The 23-year-old finally shook hands with Danhausen to cement their friendship, and it got a massive pop. And yeah, of course, I love saying this, as you probably know, I'm a massive fan of Hookhausen, but yeah, didn't really see this Danhausen squash yet. I don't know if he's just not ready or not, but it's interesting to see where it goes. But anyway, the Salt of the Earth, accompanied by Sean Spears, was out next. Sat across the ring from Wardlow. MJF also put himself and Long Island over, saying it's the most magical place in the world. The Pinnacle leader then tricked the crowd into booing Wardlow when the latter spoke. MJF took back centre stage and said that Wardlow would get whipped by him at Double or Nothing. He revealed that Mr. Mayhem would first wrestle in a steel cage match against Sean Spears with MJF as guest ref. The Salt of the Earth then added that if Wardlow lost the match to Spears, he would be barred from signing a contract with AEW. The 34-year-old performer was unable to sign a contract with the handcuffs on. After security removed his handcuff and then he signed a contract, Wardlow went on a rampage, taking out everyone, including Sean Spears. He almost took out MJF, but Mark Sterling interfered. While the Pinnacle leader escaped, Wardlow powered on Sterling through the table and had a stare down with MJF to end the segment. And yeah, this was just brilliant stuff. Wardlow's getting closer every week, and yeah, it's really, really good. When he finally gets his hands on MJF, it'll be a great moment, I'm sure, because we've all been waiting so long for it. But yeah, just one little thing for me. I think having the stipulation where Wardlow can't sign a contract if he loses, for me, I'm not just sure if we need that, because it kind of makes it obvious who the winner is. But on the whole, it's still a good, great contract signing. I'm loving the feud, obviously. Starks and took on Jungle Boy, and the match started with Starks and Jungle engaging in some fast-paced back-and-forth action. The action seemed towards the outside, but Jungle Boy hammered several punches and chops on Starks. Back inside the ring, the Team Taz member hit a stomp on his opponent, but the tag team champion soon retaliated, hitting a drop kick. Back from a commercial break, Jungle Boy hit a lariat on the FTW champ, followed by DDT for a close 2 count. Starks made several attempts to execute the Roshambo, but Jungle Boy always found a way to counter it. The AEW tag team champion then locked in a snare trap, but Starks quickly reached the ropes. The Team Taz member soon went outside and his FTW championship to attack Jungle Boy. However, Swerve Strickland came out confronting Stark with a distracted referee, asked Strickland to leave. Starks used this his advantage by hitting the Roshambo to get the victory. And yeah, I mean, like, it's another loss for Jungle Boy, which is a bit of a shame off Carlo Riley a few weeks back. But you know, this time at least it wasn't too clean at all, really. So that's fine. Post-match, Hobbs and Lee came out with both Lee and Strickland and Hobbs and Stark signaling towards the chasing AEW tag team titles. Jungle Boy was distraught in the ring with Christian Cage consoling him. And yeah, creates an interesting dynamic. I'm intrigued to see where that goes now. But yeah, on this whole, decent match, decent storyline accompanying it, so it gets 7 out of 10 from me. Jericho Appreciation Society were in the ring next on Dynamite, with Jericho boasting that he and his stablemates destroyed Kingston and Proud and Powerful. However, it was soon interrupted by Jon Moxley. The champion warned Moxley to leave the ring, saying it was just him against 5 members of the Appreciation Society, when Danielson, Utah and Regal walked down the ramp. Eddie Kingston and Proud and Powerful also emerged out of nowhere. The two sides quickly came to blows, with William Regal landing a left hand on Jericho. The stable promptly cleared the ring while Combat Club and Kingston, Proud and Powerful stood tall inside the ring. And yeah, creates an interesting thing. Could this be the direction we're heading in for Double or Nothing? Maybe a big tag team match? Wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, certainly does look interesting, that. And yeah, for me now, definitely intrigued to see where that goes, because that could be a bit of a banger of a match at Double or Nothing. Before we got Tony Storm versus Jamie Hayter. Hayter and Storm kick-started things in the tournament by trading some quick reversals. Hayter soon hit a big boot on Storm, with the latter falling on the outsider. However, the former SmackDown superstar made it back into the ring just in time. Hayter was now in control of the match, methodically wearing down Storm. Back from the break, both performers were trading brutal chops. Next, Storm planted 2 DDTs on Hayter, one inside the ring, one on the outside. Next, Storm hit crossbody on Hayter, but the latter quickly recovered and executed a backbreaker on her opponent. Both performers were now on the top rope, where Hayter hit a suplex. After a few more quick reversals, Storm hit Storm Zero out of nowhere to qualify for the semi-finals. And yeah, it's a 6 out of 10 for me. Would have probably preferred Storm to qualify, so a good result for me, and decent little match as well. But yeah, it's just kind of that woman in spot in this card again, which is a bit disappointing. But you know, it wasn't a terrible match at all, and for me it's the right result, so no major complaints. Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti were backstage, interrupting Frankie Kazarian's interview, warning him to stay clear of Scorpio Sky. Before we got Darby Allin versus Jeff Hardy in an anything goes match. The former TNT champ hit a top rope suicider on Hardy as soon as the match began. Allin soon pulled out steel chairs and lined up several together. However, the charismatic Enigma attacked Allin from behind and hit a clothesline to take him down. Moments later, Allin sent his opponent spine first into the ring post. Soon a ladder also came into play, with Hardy pulling it out from under the ring. The veteran performer then placed Allin on a pile of chairs on the outside. Hardy then climbed the ladder, but Allin recovered just in time to send his opponent crashing, before the former TNT champion then climbed onto the ladder and delivered a swanton bomb off Jeff Hardy onto the pile of chairs. Darby Allin attempted a coffin drop inside the ring, but the former WWE superstar moved aside just in time, sending his opponent crashing onto the ring apron. Jeff next placed Allin in the steel chairs and took a position for his swanton bomb. As it turned out, Allin was recovering just in time, with Hardy landing directly on the stairs. Allin then delivered a coffin drop back in the ring. The charismatic Enigma then kicked out and rolled at the former TNT champion to advance into the next round of the tournament. And yeah, that was just frenetic, fast-paced action. Some of the spots, I mean, like, for Jeff Hardy, I mean, like, how long has this guy been doing it? It's just absolutely incredible. And yeah, it was just such a fun match. I love this style of wrestling personally. I was surprised Hardy got the win, but you know, he's still going to give it time to see where it goes. Would have preferred Darby to get it, but you know, no major complaints for me. This match was just absolutely bloody brilliant. 8 out of 10. Overall, AEW Dynamite this week gets 7 out of 10 from me. And yeah, I said at the start of the show, it was probably one of the most packed Dynamites I've seen in a while, and it definitely delivered. Yes, so much frenetic, fast-paced action, and for me, all of it from start to finish, or pretty much all of it at least, was absolute banger material. And yeah, just a really, really brilliant episode of Dynamite this week, and more to come hopefully from AEW. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, leave thoughts, comments down below. So the description below for daily wrestling news. Subscribe to the channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.